Hi there. Thanks for enrolling into this Peoplesoft Technical Training course. In this course, we'll be covering the technical aspects of Peoplesoft application development using PeopleTools technology. Peoplesoft is an ERP software product that is owned by Oracle. It has a lot of applications that include human resource capital management, financials, CRM, customer relationship management, e-learning, and campus solutions. So all these products can be purchased individually or it can be integrated together to address your business requirements. So in this session, we are going to cover the system architecture, and then I'll be showing you a brief demo of how the PeopleSoft system looks like. I'll be showing you the navigation and how to navigate through the entire system, and then we'll be using this application designer tool to build PeopleSoft pages. So application designer is an IDE, that is integrated development environment, that we use to build PeopleSoft pages. Also, we'll be covering another aspect, that is PeopleCode. So PeopleCode is a programming language that we use in PeopleSoft to write your business logics. You can write your validations, you can perform calculations, and all your business logics can be incorporated in this PeopleCode. So it's a powerful third generation language that is, you can use all your OOPS concepts and whatever the basic programming knowledge you have. It's very easy to learn PeopleCode. So let's get started. In this slide, we're going to see a brief history of PeopleSoft and what lies ahead for PeopleSoft. So I'm not going to read through the entire slide. It's very clear and very self-explanatory. It was founded in 1987, and then that's the same year when PeopleTools was introduced. The first product, that is human capital management, was launched in 1988, and then followed by a financial product, and then PeopleSoft launched supply chain management, and then enterprise learning management. And the major acquisition happened in 2005 when PeopleSoft product was acquired by Oracle, and then on a lot of investment has been put into PeopleSoft, and currently we have a quarterly release of update images, and we are getting new features once in every 3 months. So, and also PeopleSoft has moved to the cloud since 2017. So we are staying current with all the latest technologies, tools and technologies that are doing the trend in the current IT world. In fact, PeopleSoft is planning to invest on blockchain, on AI, and they're also working on chatbots. So what lies ahead for PeopleSoft? So PeopleSoft Premier support is provided until 2030. So that's the latest update given by Oracle. So in this slide it's mentioned 2027, but yeah, Premier support is until 2030. I'm going to the next slide now. Here I'm going to cover the internet architecture. The overall internet architecture is depicted in this picture. It's much more complex than what you can see here. So this is just a simple overview of how your PeopleSoft architecture looks like. So on the left side, whatever you see here is your client devices. It can be a web browser, it can be a Chrome browser, it can be a Safari, or you can access it on a mobile phone or your mobile browsers, or it can be a third-party external system where you integrate with your PeopleSoft system. So this entire box that is over here, it represents a PeopleSoft Internet Application Server that is classified into two parts. One is a web server, and then the other is the application server. All the incoming requests from your web browser or any third-party system, it directly comes to your web server, and then that request is processed and then sent to the application server. Actually, the application server is the heart of your PeopleSoft internet architecture. So it contains all your business logics, whatever the people code you written, whatever the pages that you designed, everything resides here. So most of the tools related things will be covered in the application server. Application server in turn communicates with your database server through simple SQL statements. So it's going to say, hey, I want some data, so it's going to be a select query, or I want to insert some data, it's going to be an insert query, or some kind of an update, it's going to be an update query. So I'm trying to explain it in simple terms. So this is how your overall flow comes in. So let's say users trying to open a web page from your web browser. The request is routed to the application server from the web server, and then it communicates with the database server, gets the data that is stored in the database, and fetches it. All your application business logics gets triggered and then sent back to the web server, and then the communication goes back to your client. So this is the overall idea of this internet architecture. So without wasting much time, let's go to the system demo. So here I am. So this is the home page in Peoplesoft. You can see here there are a lot of home pages like employee self-service, manager self-service, and you have a lot of custom home pages that have created over here. So you can navigate across home pages and you can see all the tiles. So these tiny small boxes that you see over here, these are called tiles, and each tile represents a page or a business transaction. Let's say I'm going to open this slide. So I've clicked on personal details tile. So I've logged in as one employee called Betty Losherty. So she's going to be the user that we use for this demo purpose. So here, you can see the addresses of this employee and the contact details. So mostly it's going to be related to the personal details like marital status, names, ethnic groups, and you can see some additional information, emergency contacts. So all these things are available over here. So you have option to add a new emergency contact, just do some basic transactions, and you'll be able to save the page. Let's go back to the home page. So this tiny small box, which is called tile, also contains graphical information, and also it can contain some live data. So it can see on this tile the performance documents. It says I have 6 current documents. So as you see, I have 6 current documents for this particular that are pending, that has to be routed to the next step. So these are related to the performance management. So I can show you some complex page. Yeah, this is a job data page where you see all the employee related, the job specific information. So I'm going to access one of the job specific record here, and here you can see the details of this employee, and you can see like the effective date, effective sequence, what is the action that this employee was hired, and position numbers, regulatory region, company, business unit. So all the attributes of this employee will be recorded in the job data. So this is one particular page which is designed using the application designer tool, which I said. So you can design and develop all these kind of complex pages in your Peoplesoft application designer. So every component it will have some kind of name. So if you click on Ctrl+Shift+J, it's going to show you the component name, the page name. So every page will have multiple every component will have multiple pages. So this component called job data has a page called job data 1. So if you go to the second page, job information, so this will have a different naming convention, job data, job code. So just to give an idea, like a component can have multiple pages, and then these are all stored into the database. So I can query and show you how it looks like in the database. So I'm querying the job data for this particular employee. The employee ID is this one. You can see data is organized in a table like this. So the effective date is 13 June 2018. That's what is displayed over here. And you can see all these information like position number PS0001, and the position number is here in the work location tab. So yeah, it's like simple things like your business logic resides in an application server, and the database server you can see all your data. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's start developing some kind of simple page using this application designer tool, and let's register it online. Okay, so this is the application designer tool. This is the idea where you're going to create your Peoplesoft pages, and you can register them online. So I'm going to start with a page creation. We don't have much of data now, so I'm going to start with a blank page. So I'm clicking on Control N and then page. So, or you can have a lot of options like file and then new, and then you can select the page. It's also going to give you a page, or you can click on this new icon and then you can select page. Okay, I have opened a simple page. There is nothing over here. I can start by inserting a very static text. So let's start with the regular hello world. I'm going to say insert and then static text. Here I have the static text. I'm going to say double click and then it's going to give you the properties. I'm going to say hello world. That's it. This is a simple page to start with. Let's place it somewhere in the middle. In Peoplesoft application development, it's like pixel perfect representation of your page development. So whatever you see here is whatever you get in the page. So it's like what you see is what you get model. So it's going to be a pixel perfect representation of whatever you have decided in your Peoplesoft page. So I'm going to save this page. Let me do this. I will follow this naming convention, myTech-school _ and my first page. Okay, I have created my page. To insert it into a project, I'm going to say insert and then current definition into project. So you can see this page is inserted into my project. Okay, let's save the project first. I'm going to say myTech-school first project. Simple, right? So we have created a first page. Now, as I said, you need a component to have a page. Component is a holder which can contain your pages. So a component can have multiple pages. So let me start with creation of a component. Again, you have the shortcut Control N, or you can click on this new icon or file new, whatever you prefer, and then say component. Click OK. So we have a component ready. So what are you going to do? Simple drag drop from your project. That's it. We are done with creation of component. Okay. You're not allowed to be save a component without adding a search record. We're going to cover about search record very soon in detailed manner in the upcoming series, but for now you just understand that search record is mandatory for saving a component. Let's say if I try to save this page without giving the search record, so it's going to say search record is required. Funny, right? Yeah, search record is required. So for now I'm going to say installation. Installation is one search record with no search keys, so I'm going to give this. We're going to see about this in a detailed manner in the upcoming sessions. So let me save my component, myTech-school first component. And what you have to do is insert into project. Don't forget this, insert and then current definition into project. You have the shortcut key F7 as well. Cool. I'm going to save this project, and that's it. We are done with a simple page creation. Now let's register it online. Let's see how it's going to look online. So to register this online, you have this register component. Click over here, and then it's going to take you this. These three options will be prompted. You have to select all these. We're going to discuss about these in a detailed manner in the upcoming sessions. So for now, I'm just leaving the default values, and I'm going to say okay. I'm going to register it in the self-service menu, self-service folder. This is a content reference name that is generated. So let's say first component. So this is a label of the component, and I'm going to click next and just leave the rest as such and click on finish. That is it. We are done. We are good to go. It says wizard saves complete, means we are good to go. Let us go back to the home page, and to open our page we have to use this navigator menu, there is a nav bar. I'm clicking it over here and click on the Navigator. Okay, navigate to the home menu, and then click on self-service. So this is where I've registered my component, and my first component is here. I click on first component. Wow, this looks cool. Hello world is here, and we are good to go. Very simple, isn't it? Yeah, the Peoplesoft application development process is very simple, and it's very easy to understand. Even the coding that we are going to do is not so complex. So let's make some more additions to this page. I have a simple hello world page. I want to do some basic transaction, like let's say some basic employee related information. So let's start with that. Okay, now we need a kind of a record to hold our data, whatever you're going to have it, right? So I'm going back to the SQL developer. Let's design a simple record. So the record name, whatever I'm writing over here is going to be in comments. I will have to name my record, so I'll follow this convention, MTS underscore first record. So basically the record will hold, a record is something like this. PS underscore job is a record that holds some data related to job data related to an employee. So I'm going to create a sample record to hold some basic employee information. Let's say I'm going to have the following fields: employee ID, and then let's say amount, and let's go ahead with, okay, why don't we store basic information of the employee, like phone number, or okay, let's do this one. Okay, month, year, and then this one. So I'm going to create my first record that is going to contain employee ID, month, year, and the amount. So it's like tracking the monthly expenses of an employee, and probably there will be some HR administrator who can approve this amount, and they can reimburse, something like that. So let's create a simple page to hold these basic employee information, the expense information that can be submitted to HR pool. So this is my simple record with 4 fields. So I'm going to create this in the application designer. Come, let's get started. To create a new record, again, you can use the shortcut Control N and say record. And here I'm going to insert my 4 fields, that is employee ID, month. So you can see all these fields are available, like month here. These are the common fields. So whatever common fields are going to be there, it's already available in your Peoplesoft. So you can see for this amount you have a lot of amount fields. I'm just checking which one would suit my requirements. So I can choose one of these, like this amount should be fine. So I have included these 4 fields into my record. Now time to save my record. I'll save MTS first record. You have to select one of the database space names. So I'm going to select HR large. Okay, I'm done with the creation of the record. So let us build this record and then see. So I'm going to say create tables, build current, and then create tables. So this is how you build your record, and then click on build option. Okay, I have created my record, I have built it. Why do we do this builders? So you have the build icon, right? You can do this, or you can have another option, build and then current definition. The purpose of building this is to create a table in your database. So without doing this build, you'll not be able to see the table in your database. So I'm going to query my newly created table. So all your tables should be prefixed with ps underscore. So I'm going to say ps underscore mts underscore first record. So Let's query this. Okay, I have my table built already. As you see, the table has no rows because we haven't entered any rows so far into this table. Now let's get started with this table. Don't forget to include in this project function F7 or insert current definition into project. And always ensure that you save the project throughout your application development. Now the usage of search record comes here. I'm going to change this search record to the record that we have built now, MTS first record, and then I'm going to save this. Okay, we have hello world. We don't require hello world anymore. I'm going to remove this, and in order to insert this record fields into this page, it's very simple. Just drag drop here, and then you have to rearrange in whatever manner you want to, arrange this field. You can do it. Good. I think we are good to go. We can save this page, and let's go online. I'm going to refresh this page, and ta-da! You can see the field right away in the Peoplesoft component. Very simple, isn't it? The next thing that we're going to discuss about is the search record, whatever we have seen. The purpose of the search record. So, purpose of the search record, is to take you to the Peoplesoft search page. Now we don't have any search page here. It actually takes you to the transaction page. Every Peoplesoft component, if you see even the job data, if you have seen, it takes you to the search page. Search page will have a set of key fields that is called search key. So you can basically enter the basic filter criteria here, like name or employee ID, and then click on search, and then that's going to take you to the exact search the record that you're looking for. So likewise, I'm going to create some search keys here. Double click on your field, and you have to select key, search key, and whatever field you want it as search key. I'm going to select a month, year, and employee ID. So these are going to be like the search key. Okay, let's make only the employee ID as a search key for now. And it's good to alter the table once you modify the keys. Now let's go online and quickly check our first component. Now you see a different view here. It's taking you to the search page. That's because I made employee ID as the search key. So you'll have find an existing value and then employee ID as a search key. In advanced search, you'll have only employee ID because I don't have any other as alternate search key. So you have something called an alternate search key. So if you want to make it as an alternate search key, then it comes as a additional field. Now I'm not going to do that in this session. Let's start by adding new values to the record. So I click on add a new value. Let's enter some basic information of some employee. I'm going to say KU007 and then click on add. Now it's taken me to the transaction page. Now I can track expenses of this employee KU001. I'm going to say 1/2019 and I have some amount of $1,000 and I click on save. Now this transaction is saved to the database. Now let's verify if this transaction is really saved to the database or not. I'm going to say select start from MTS first record, and here I have my transaction getting saved to the database. So for employee KU007, month of Jan and year of 2019, an expense of $1,000 has been incurred. So now let us go back to the search page and add another value for the same employee. I'm going to say KU007, click on add. Okay, it says already KU007 has a record, and you can directly click on here and then go to that record. So basically I've made KU007 and as a only search key. Now I'm going to make other search keys like month and year. Always remember to alter the table whenever you make some changes. Now let me go back to the component, and then in the search page you have the following. So employee ID, month and year as the search keys, and when you click on search it's taking the first record always. But now I want to add a new value, let's say for K007, month of Feb 2019. I want to add another expense called $2,000. Click on save, and then I can go back to the database to verify if my entry is there. Yeah, my entry is here. And okay, let's click on search. Now I have, in the search page I have two records basically for K007 for the month of 1 and 2 for the year 2019. So I can click on one of these to take me to the appropriate transaction that is entered by the user. It's pretty simple, isn't it? You have a lot of toolbar item buttons as well on the below that you can use to navigate across your entire list of transactions, your entire list of records. You can start adding new values by clicking on add over here. So all these things are I think we are good enough to with page development. Now we have created a simple page where you capture employee expense information for every month, and then that gets saved to the database. Now let's look something about people code. I'm going back to my page and I'm going to add another expense for KU007. So this is the employee ID actually. I can actually add an expense for other employees as well. If you see here, I can add for KU008 and K009, anyone I can add. So that's actually not the right thing to do, right? So as from an employee self-service, I should be able to add values related to the expenses related to my user, right? So if I add expenses for other users, it's not the right way to do. So let's restrict this first using the people code. So we're going to check more about people code in the upcoming sessions. For now, we're going to start writing some basic people code to understand how to write people code and what exactly the people code is. So the first thing I'm going to do is restrict this employee ID. I'm going to restrict it based on the current logged in user. So whoever is logged in, his employee ID will be defaulted and it's going to be freezed. There's no more edit on the employee ID side. The next thing is the amount field. As you see now, I can save this as blank. Without entering anything, I can save this. I don't want this to happen. I'm going to prompt the user, please enter something in the amount field before saving. So these two requirements, let's quickly do in people code. Let's see how people code works. So for the first requirement, I'm going to default the employee ID and then freeze this. So the page properties you have directly to freeze this employee ID field, double click it, go to the use tab and say display only. We are done. But we cannot do it in the search page. Search page is automatically generated by Peoplesoft. So in order to do that, I'm going back to my component, going to the component structure, click on search record, right click, view people code. This is going to take me to the people code editor. So what I'm going to say here is just drag drop the field that you want to default. It's going to say the record name dot field name, and then I'm going to say dot value equal to. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to default the employee ID of the logged in user. So we have a meta variable called percentage employee ID that is going to do the job. So the percentage employee ID is going to get fetch the current logged in user, and I'm going to default this value in my employee ID field. So once I've done this, I'm going to do another thing, that is to freeze this employee. I'm going to say record name dot field name, that is MTS first record dot employee ID dot display only. There is a property called display only, and if you set that to true, means it will not be editable. Okay, we are done with writing the people code. Let's go back to the search page. Now you see the default employee ID is defaulted for this particular transaction. So any user who's logged in, their employee ID will be populated here, and it will be display only. So you can submit expense only for your employee ID. So I'm going to say for the month of December 2018, I'm going to submit a new expense. I'm going to say 2000. In fact, I can leave this blank as well. I don't want this to happen. So the first requirement is sorted. You can see the employee ID is populated and then it's freezed. But let's do the second one, that is to restrict the user from blanking the amount field. So they have to enter something in the amount field before submitting. I'm going to the component again. If you notice, in my first people code I've written, there is something called a some drop down over here and then some event name coming over here. So this is like the search init event. Since I'm writing in the search record, the search end is selected. I have other options also here. As you see, you have search save event, row insert, row delete, row select. So these are like the various type of events that are available. So I've written the search init so that this changes gets reflected in the search image. I can also write these people code in the other areas. So now I'm going to cover the component events. If you right click view people code, the component has these 5 events. So of these, the predominant ones are this pre-build, post-build, save pre-change, save post-change. So pre-build event, whatever people code you write in the pre-build event, that's going to get triggered before your component, this component buffer is loaded, and whatever you write in the post-build, that's going to get triggered at the last, like after other component related events are loaded, then whatever your code you write in the post-build will get fired. You have save pre-change and then save post-change. So save pre-change is the event that is going to get triggered before commit happens to the database. So let's exactly write some people code here, some kind of people code here to perform this validation. Ideally, this is not the right place to write validations. We have another event called save edit. So let's do that. Let's go to the record again and select save edit. So save edit is the place where you write validations. So if you want to perform some validations, throw some error message to the user, display some message to the user, you can do it in the save edit event. So for now, I'm going to say I'm going to throw an error whenever the amount field is blank for an employee. So the code goes like this. Write your if statement if your amount field has no value. So to do this, we have a function called none, and if you say if none of first record amount or value, then throw an error message, say error, please fill in the amount field before saving. So I've written a simple error message here. I'm going to close this if by using end if. I have saved this. So what I'm done here is I'm checking if the amount field is blank using in the none function. So this none function will return true if this amount field is blank. And then the error message goes like this: error, please fill in the amount field before saving. Now let me go back to the page. I'm going to perform a new transaction. I'm refreshing this page. I click on add a new value, and let's say I'm going to create a new expense for November 2018. Now I have this amount field is blank. Let me click on save. When I click on save, you can see that a pop-up comes in. It says please fill in the amount field before saving. This is exactly the error message that we written in this people code. Very simple, isn't it? So I click on OK, and you can see for this particular employee, the transaction will not be saved into the database. So for this employee, the month of 12 you have an entry, whereas for the month of 11 there is no entry. So only when you enter some data here, so let's say $1,000, and then click on save, and it says saved, and also you can see that, verify that in the backend. So the amount is getting saved. Very simple, right? So the people code is a very simple language. If you're familiar with the other programming languages like C, C++, so it follows a similar programming conventions, programming standards. And if you're familiar with OOPS concepts, so you can easily understand how to write people code. It's not so complex. Let me give a quick recap of whatever was covered in today's session. We started with the introduction to PeopleSoft, and then we went to the inter-system architecture of the PeopleSoft, and then we started with the basic Hello World program. We created our first component using the PeopleSoft application designer, that is the tools that is developed by PeopleSoft. So we created some simple Hello World component, Hello World page, and registered it online and saw it in the PeopleSoft internet architecture. And then we took another example where we can track employee expenses. We created a basic record and then enter some basic information, try to save the transaction, and then verify it back in the PeopleSoft record. We also saw about people code, that is a programming language that is used in PeopleSoft. So we saw how to write some basic people code, the fundamentals of the people code. So in the upcoming series, you'll be seeing more, complex requirements, like how to design your complex pages, just like how you saw in job data. So you'll see a detailed explanation of how these people code events are triggered. You saw there are a lot of events in PeopleSoft, and I'm going to cover the flow of these events and where to write the events, how to write all these people code in a correct way. So the entire course structure goes like this. We have divided this course into smaller sections, and then at the end of each section I'll be giving you a small exercise to start working with, so you can also practice parallelly so that you can get familiar with this PeopleSoft application development. So also the entire course is developed into one theme. So I'll be taking one example and then covering the entire project, and by the end of the course you'll be seeing a complete product related to this expense tracker. Okay, so by the time you finish this course, you'll be familiar with the PeopleSoft technical concepts. So you'll be familiar with the page development, you'll be familiar with the people code, you'll be familiar with the reporting development, and you'll be a PeopleSoft technical developer who can be confident of doing all these application development. Thank you so much for joining today's class, and hope it was informative. See you in the next video. Happy learning.